This painting is called Water Garden. It's a romantic scene of a man and a car. I started gaining interest in this topic of people and cars being lovers when I was listening to the band T-Rex a lot. There were so many songs about cars, but the song The Slider in particular tickled me because Mark Bolan sings the line where he says, "I never ever kissed a car before." And it just tripped me up. Like, I have nothing to say other than, wow, me neither. Then I started hearing more and more lyrics about cars. Let's see. "Oh, baby, I want to buy you a Cadillac. I bought it with my soul, but you say you're gonna give it back. Just like a silver-studded saber-toothed dream, I'll be clean, pollution machine. Just like a car, you're pleasing to behold. I'll call you Jaguar if I may be so bold." Oh, this one's good. "Oil your engines all night. Drive me, baby. I give service." And then Belinda May Fender's got a Cadillac bone, whatever that means. "Buick McCain, will you be my girl?" It goes on and on. I find it interesting that Mark Bolan never learned to drive his whole life. It's also strange that he died in a car crash. To me, he had this more like mystical and less utilitarian relationship to cars than most people. And many rock artists have written songs about cars, but Mark Bolan did more to give them souls, and they became their own like creatures to him. He also writes from the point of view of the car a lot, too. Mark Bolan was very interested in Lord of the Rings, and he had a lot of lyrics that are filled with, like, high fantasy imagery, and I think it's a delightful combination to pair images of dragons and wizards alongside, like, modern cars. And I see eye to eye with Mark Bolan on this because I have also painted several scenes where cars exist autonomously within the general landscape. A long time ago, I made it this arbitrary rule in my paintings that humans, animals, and cars are never shown in a hierarchical way, like they're all even. I don't like to show people driving cars or riding animals. I broke this rule once, and I still regret it, but they're usually like in a similar scale too. In this world, they're all like animals with souls, and they're all equally the main character. I like to decenter humans as being like the sole protagonists. And sometimes they are protagonists, but sometimes I've also experimented with using humans as like a decoration or a garnish. I guess it seems sort of justice-oriented to put animals and humans on the same level, so I don't really know why I included cars with that too, but I think Mark Bolan would understand. So I kept doing my research on romances between people and cars, and it became that kind of thing when you start telling people about what you're interested in, and then people just start sending you things. There was the movie Ferrat Vampire, a movie about a car that's also a vampire. Titan, Christine, the car who's a jealous lover, and my partner at the time got me a copy of the Queen single I'm in Love with My Car. And then there was this episode of My Strange Addiction, and it was about a man who's in a serious relationship with his car, and it's about the social stigmas he had to overcome for his love, and I found it so, like, moving. And I just believe him. It's the same way I believe people who've had supernatural experiences. Like, it's obvious that they're deeply emotionally affected by it, so isn't that, like, real enough to believe? I just enjoyed chasing this kind of, like, agnostic belief that cars have a soul and that people could love and feel love from a car. I just enjoyed hearing from people who'd experienced that firsthand, and I like the version of the world where that exists. So, back to the painting. The challenging part of this was going to be like making a scene that was romantic without necessarily showing the two characters like kissing or something. I'm not exactly interested in the mechanics of how a man and a car would make love, but I wanted to show that they were in love and that sex would be there as like a subtext in the painting. So I was thinking of overtly romantic locations, and I specifically remembered seeing the Kenneth Anger film called Eau d'Artifice, which was filmed at the Villa d'Este in Italy. and it's like the ultimate lush garden of fountains. I like the way the entire film is just dripping. So I used photos of the Villa d'Este as a reference. I drew a fountain like nestled into a hillside to give it that enveloped feeling. And I referred back to the hillside I'd painted in this previous painting I'd made. Like maybe they take place at the same mythical hillside. I tried a few color schemes out. I tested out lavender for the hillside, and then I ended up going with like blues and greens because they felt very lush to me. And I liked the colors in this Van Gogh mug. I decided I would paint the man washing the car in the fountain, and I made the whole scene dripping like the Kenneth Anger movie. And just to make it a little more like cheeky, I added the marble statues of nude men along the edges of the fountain. And this was to suggest that this person is surrounded by more typical objects of desire, and yet he chooses the car. I think some of the successful things in this painting are that I like how the water turned out, and I like the statues, but I think there could be more greenery to make it even more lush. But I painted this piece at a time when I was still like avoiding learning how to paint plants. I hope you enjoyed learning about this piece, Water Garden, and I hope you take a moment to admire a car today.